This button activates the manual override state. It is effective only while in flight. It says power. Could it be that this button has something to do with the power system of the shuttle? Nah, that sounds way too obvious.
Sir, I am unable to access the navigational computer. I am guessing that it may have overloaded just as the divalium crystal somehow went offline. Once repairs have been made and the shuttle engines have been refired, I believe I can follow the deep ship's ion trail back to Delta Berxilon 5.
That would be quite cool, Manuel. You sure about that?
Once the divalium crystal has been repaired, our electrical system reestablished, and the engines fired, I am 97.2% certain.
Why only 97.2%?
I judged 97.2% to sound more hip to our audience than would 100. You would have to mention it.
Sorry.
Don't apologize to me. It's the players you ruined it for.
That's manual override, your holographic navigator.
Swell. There's not enough power to restart the engines.
It's a tube of Elmo's Gluezol. It reminds you of one of those hand pumps you use when the astrohead plugs up. It's the most indispensable item in the universe, duct tape. This is the shuttle's This is the shuttle hat. The shuttle always looks trashed like this when it gets back from one of those intergalactic tailgate parties. The shuttle closet contains an EVA suit and helmet for those infrequent repairs. The shuttle always looks... This compartment contains the divalium crystal subprocessor and main flux coupling. This compartment contains the manual override array and the pattern buffer subroutines. Don't screw with the pattern buffer array. If you get messed up during teleportation, it can unscramble you.
Wow. The crystal seems to have broken. I swear it wasn't me.
Now we're in deep.
Hey, I've gotten us this far, haven't I?
Yes, and what a wonderful place it is. How did I get hooked up in this deal? My agent's going to be hearing from me big time.
It feels nice. Wow. The crystal's...
Now...
Hey, I've got...
Yes? You start to say something and then you remember that you're supposed to be a man of action, not words. Or is that the other way around? This is the data quarter power source, a tiny chip of divalium crystal, the official power source of StarCon.
Oh, great. The data quarter seems to be fried.
It's a piece of divalium crystal. Boy, wouldn't it be cool if that really worked? It would appear that merging those two items is not a good... It probably seemed like a good idea to you at one time. It probably seemed... It would appear that merging... It probably... You pour glue all over the crystal. You hold the glue-coated segment to the broken Devallium crystal for 10 seconds to set the glue. All appears well in the crystal compartment. It's the most indispensable item. It's the pump you retrieve from the shuttle. It feels like...
What may I do for you, sir?
Swell. There's not enough power to restart the engines.
You get a jump on senility by mumbling to yourself.
Sir, the Devallium crystal seems to be in proper configuration, but I'm afraid we'll need a power boost to restart the engines. I'm sensing that we may also have some sort of engine inlet blockage as well.
You pull the handle and hear something release on the outside of the shuttle. This is an EVA suit. That's your extravehicular. That, of course, is your freshly stolen shuttle from the Deep Ship 86. These are the shuttle's jumper cables. That sure doesn't make you feel real secure about this spacecraft if those are standard equipment. That, of course, is your freshly stolen shuttle from the Deep Ship. What's with this fish deal? Now one stuck in the engine intake. It's a help sign. These are the shuttle's jumper cables. It's the recall note. It reads, "Dear Ham Shuttle Owner, it is..." That's delightfully... It's the help sign from the shuttle's trunk.
Hello, sweetheart. You look like you could use a little assistance. Is there anything I can do?
Well, yes, there is. Thanks for stopping.
Well, you just name it, I guess.
It seems I've stalled my engines. Could you give me a jump? I have cables.
I'd jump for you in a heartbeat, dollface. I guess you must have got caught up in that anti-anomaly. It can be a real pain in the... Well, anyway, let's get it done.
Well, here's your end of the cables.
I'll let you know when I'm all hooked up. Contact!
Okay, Manuel, we're all hooked up. Give it a try.
Bye-bye, sugar bunny. I gotta be running along.
Hey, thanks for stopping to help me.
See ya.
You neatly replace the EVA suit in its proper place.
Good work, sir. I believe I can now follow the ion trail of Deep Ship 86 back to Delta Berxalon 5.
You press the Lab B button, but the Ascendo pad doesn't move. Apparently you need some sort of clearance to get to Lab B.
So it won't open. I didn't want to go to Lab B anyway.
Wow, a mad scientist working on a planet called Delta Berxalon. You wonder what he's doing here? Designing women, perhaps? Sorry? This is the only piece of equipment in the lab that's totally unfamiliar to you. It appears biomechanical in nature, with a metallic skin that seems to expand and contract slightly. That looks like a standard test tube rack. Hey, they've got their own multiband UV wave bath straight out of the Ed Mundane catalog. The lab table is illuminated by a full-spectrum trithisonium bulb that simulates the naturally occurring light of a trinary star system. A couple of Bunsen burners sit on the counter. This lab table has a pleasingly round shape and a conveniently flat surface. This lab... You think it's an Erlenmeyer flask. As usual, though, you're sadly mistaken. An Erlenmeyer flask is conical. This flask is spherical. Shows what you know. This depiction of a region holder is based on science fact and current NASA research. Science so hard, you could bounce an asteroid off of it. This depiction of a region holder. This is one of the nanotechnology. This depiction. It looks like a typical tank of smegminium, a cheesy substance used in the manufacture of projectiles, thrusters, and pistons. The markings on this tank indicate that it's full of Fresnon, a deadly nerve gas. Symptoms of exposure include slurred speech, a red neck, raisin-like wrinkling of the face and extremities, and a sudden fondness for livestock. A cybergenic incubator. You've heard about them. You've seen pictures in magazines, but you never thought you'd actually get to see one up close.
Big whoop.
An overhead readout constantly displays the lab status. Oddly, it reports that all conditions report green. Perhaps it's colorblind. You peek inside the cage and see... Prip Thrip, a kind of moth that beats you up, steals your team jacket, and then eats it. A beautiful ruby-backed flagellant hops around in this cage, whipping itself with its prehensile tail. In this cage, you can just make out the familiar form of an Orion vivisectional mud puppy, the only creature in the universe that sedates itself, pins itself down, dissects itself, and lets you copy its lab notes. This cage appears to be full of endearing little furry purring creatures. You vaguely remember seeing similar creatures on someone's screensaver. It's Dr. Bellows, Delta Berxalon's token evil scientist.
Hello, Doctor.
Janitor Wilco? What in blazes are you doing here?
Well, Doc, I got a distress call.
So why are you here?
Because I know it originated here. In fact, it was from Stellar Santiago.
You're out of your mind, Wilco. Now go away and leave me alone. I've got important work to do. Goodbye.
I know something's up here, Doc, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. You'll be sorry, pal.
Yes, whatever you say, Wilco. Just get out of my face.
GDAD, it's a North Gateway with 5 gigabytes of RAM, a molecular memory hard disk with infinite capacity, a dodecaspeed CD-ROM drive, microsloth-compatible mouse, and a built-in 10K pin laser printer. Just 3 more gigabytes and you can install OS2 on it. It's a monitor. You've seen one before. In fact, you're seeing 2 right now. GDAD, it's just 3 more gigabytes. It's an ergonomically designed aerodynamic hole to throw trash in. I think it's a damn box. It looks like maybe it holds a set of books or something. This would be something foreign to you. There's a nice variety of books on the doctor's shelf. The Hidden Life of Orats. But they don't teach you at StarCon Academy. All I need to know I learned from the Q Continuum. And the hunt for red corpuscle.
Hey, this guy ordered himself one nice desk chair.
It's just techie stuff. There is a Callahan MIDI here. Seems you remember talking about those things to someone recently. It appears to be an old 1586 circuit board. Oh, that's right. You're not supposed to be a techie. We hope we didn't confuse you. It's just an old beat-up chip. It appears to be a Callahan MIDI. Seems you remember someone talking about these recently. You've heard of black boxes, haven't you? Well, this one's red. It's just techie stuff. You take possession of the Callahan MIDI. You have no use for that, you silly little janitor. It's just boring techie stuff.